think through, as you said, Sarah's pretty much admitted, we've talked about it, we think we can do it. I don't think they can do it. I think this is an untested area of the Constitution. I don't think the founders foresaw this one. They had the impeachment, they had the pardon powers, but did they foresee an independent counsel? By the way, on that point, you can't bring someone under control who's independent, right? So all this talk about Lou Dobbs and others, they're out of control.
Well, look, I agree with Elise. I think that that the president himself is getting closer than ever. But here's the problem. I think Robert Costa's reporting was so spot on. This becomes a real split in the Republican Party. And, you know, you've got a president who is not in a bubble. He is in a speck of a bubble. So he's listening to a few pundits and a few commentators. He turns on the TV in the morning, watches one show, and goes to sleep watching the same network. But he's not listening to the rest of the Republican Party. If we go into a midterm election, you know, we are in a midterm election cycle. Chances are, as it stands now, the Democrats will win the House majority. But if President Trump decides to fire, whether it is the Attorney General or the Deputy Attorney General or the Special Counsel, that creates an absolute crisis, an existential crisis for House Republicans in 48 districts, which is the number of competitive districts. Every Republican who goes to any campaign event can expect to get this question. Was the president right to do those firings, or was he wrong? If a Republican in a moderate district says he was right to do it, he loses independents. If he says he was wrong to do it, he loses Trump supporters. This may be, if the president does this to protect himself, he loses Republicans in the House of Representatives.
All right, we're going to sneak in a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the ways that Bob Mueller, while not political in any way, shape, or form, and you and I have spoken about this a lot, Frank, is doing things to protect his investigation, potentially, from the president. We'll be right back.
Particularly this last week, has the president at any time thought about stepping down, before or now?
No, and I think that's an absolutely ridiculous question.
It's not ridiculous.
I gave you two questions, April. We're moving on. Jordan, go ahead.
It's not ridiculous.
Is it ridiculous?
I think he's considering all kinds of things right now. And I don't think it's ridiculous to think one of those things might be, how do I get out of here?
Well, and let's drill down on sort of the skeevy, icky category of all this. That there are things that Michael Cohen's been involved in. Michael Cohen has said that he would take a bullet for the president. I heard from a source last night that not only is that not the case, that he wouldn't even go to jail for the president. But we'll let them duke that out. If Michael Cohen was in the middle of hush money payments to women that the president had sexual relationships with, what could be in his records? What could the FBI and the Southern District, the U.S. attorneys, be holding today?
Yeah, so what we're currently all thinking that this is primarily about what you refer to as the skeevy stuff. The bombshell that could be amongst all the documents and records seized yesterday could be some connection between the president and that skeevy stuff. So, for example, if there's records indicating that the president knew of the setup of a Delaware corporation to pay off Stormy Daniels, if he knew that there was someone sent to threaten her in a Las Vegas parking lot, if he knows about the capture and kill going on at the tabloid newspapers to silence stories, now you start weaving him into criminal conspiracies, Hobbs Act violations, threats, interstate travel to commit a threat.
That's what Elliot Spitzer was ultimately caught doing when Elliot Spitzer's political career ended in D.C. on a skeevy.
Well, that can bring everybody.